And then on top of that, not only is the policy bad, and not only tactics un-American of these masked thugs jumping out and grabbing people, but ICE is screwing up over and over again. They don't need more agents. They certainly don't need more untrained actors as agents. Right here in Louisiana.
Hey, bars. Once again, take the jabs that you need. Bars, bars, bars. You see what I'm saying? Actors. He's trying to just sit here and capitalize off of hating people. He's an opportunist. He sees a situation where he can stay relevant, make a few dollars, and scratch that tickle he has of hating people. Hey, thank you for clicking this video. Just to let you know, this is a clip from my previous live stream that I did. Just want to let you know I go live every Sunday through Thursday at 6:30 p.m. Mountain Time. And if you don't know what time that is, go ahead and Google that so you can meet me and have a conversation on my next stream. Once again, I appreciate you clicking this video. Now let's enjoy the video. So I just want to once again give facts, statistics, because once again, if we can't agree on the basic facts, there is no conversation that can be pushed onto that. If that makes sense, like there is no conversation if we can't agree. For example, 2 + 2 is 4. If we can't even agree on something like that, we have no business talking about algebra, calculus, anything. We can't go that far. So these facts here are very important because to me, and this is just my opinion, if you disregard these facts here and still go along with Trump's rhetoric and you just agree wholeheartedly like Mr. Dean Cain here, you are, in my opinion, a racist or a very hateful person, to say in the best way, because you wouldn't sit here and look at what's happening to these people. These are people, not things. To these people and say, you know what? Not only do I think this is a good thing, I want to partake into it. You have to have a whole different type of thinking to want to participate with. So let me go ahead and break this down like a fraction. Speaking of math. So once again, Republicans and Trump say that immigration and the border is an issue. Well, here is some facts for that ass. Obama deported 11 million plus people. Biden deported 6 million people. So once again, the talking point of they want open borders or they're just letting immigrants in, the data says otherwise. So once again, that is a lie that you're telling yourself or telling other people to mistreat and demonize and dehumanize other people. When it comes to Biden, they try to push legislation to at least attempt to tackle the immigration problem. Now, we can go back and forth on our opinions on that, but at the end of the day, Republicans and Trump said no to a bipartisan bill. Once again, you can't tell me you care about immigration reform if you are part of a party that doesn't want to reform it. So here's a few things that Trump is doing that is dehumanizing to immigrants, brown people, and black people, using a Guantanamo Bay style camp to detain migrants, aka alligator Alcatraz. Now, once again, I'm not going to call it that. That is a stupid name. But once again, that is another way to dehumanize people. Warrantless home raids and targeting immigration lawyers. What sense does that make? Once again, doesn't make sense, but they don't care about sense. Degrading constitutional rights, the 5th and 14th Amendment. The Big Beautiful Bill Act advocates approximately $75 billion to ICE over 4 years. This is the kicker. I'm going to read it again. $75 billion to ICE over the next 4 years. What is the main problems when it comes to immigration? One, overstaying visas. How is $75 billion going to ICE that was only implemented in the early 2000s when Little Bow Wow was hot? It wasn't too long ago. How is that going to help overstaying visas? Or what about the asylum seeking process? People don't want to wait 10, 15, 20 years. We need more judges. We need more lawyers. We need more money. We need more people. Once again, how is $75 billion to ICE fixing that problem? Oh, what about drugs? What about the opioids and all this stuff? Once again, these are coming through legal ports of entry. And 9 times out of 10, with Americans. I don't know how much I need to stress this to explain to people that they do not care about the facts. They just want to hate on people. That's simple. Here's a few more interesting facts. $45 billion for constructing new immigration detention faculties, $30 billion for enforcement and deportation hiring agents, transportation, operational costs, etc. $30 billion. Can you imagine how they can take a poor community or district and bring it up with 30 to $45 billion? It's crazy. Let's see. So here's some of the things that he did slash, just for context, okay? 186 billion from supplemental nutrition assistance programs over the next decade, which is the largest cut in U.S. history. Medicaid faces staggering reductions around 863 billion. 863 billion. I can't even fathom that. Okay. Estimates 1.1 billion in funding for the corporations for public broadcasting. So once again, they took away PBS from us, but they're giving ICE agents military type instruments, weapons, vehicles, all this stuff. But they took away PBS. So there you go. All right, guys. So let's go ahead and get into the video, and let's see this in action.
That if you're in any other country,
hold on. Once again, let me go back because I need to show this. This is probably the most funniest thing here. Let's hear what DL has to say first.
This new bill basically makes ICE one of the largest armies on the face of the earth. It also gives them the ability to expand and build new concentration camps. Who do you think will live there? What color do you think they'll be? They also specifically went after people that were on farms and construction sites and hotels. They didn't go after the people who were criminals. If they wanted to, they could have went to the Department of Justice and used their roles and cleared out our prisons. They didn't do that. 70% of the people arrested today so far have had no criminal record, but they do have the skill. So they're going to put them in places like that. And Trump said yesterday, we're going to make deals with farmers and construction companies and the like to make money. So the government will basically sell people. All these black and brown people who thought you wanted cheap eggs, who thought you think things would be better, you really helped reinstitute modern slavery. You wanted cheaper eggs. Now they got cheaper labor, and people that look like you got bondage. Thanks a lot.
And once again, most of the voters, they wanted that. I'm starting to believe that it's not as much ignorant people as hateful people out there. Once again, they don't care about the price of eggs being $10. As long as you get them brown folks out of here or working for us, through governmental slavery, they're okay with that. They will pay $10 worth of eggs with a smile on their face.
So Dean Cain of Lois and Clark fame has decided to join ICE. But from the looks of it, he could join a gym. Have you? I know you're supposed to take a bite out of crime, but he has taken a few of them, obviously. Dean Cain has spent a lot of time, apparently, at Raising Cain. Isn't it funny? Like I just think that that's the most absurd thing in the world. You went from fighting evil to working for it. Like, who would have thought that the day that Superman would actually become Lex Luthor?
Damn.
Or Lex Luthor times 2. So instead of ICE, Family Fitness has a membership too, Dean.
Damn. Hey, I'm just saying, and that's why we can't put so much capital into these celebrities, into these public figures. And it's a rare breed like someone like D.L. Hughley who can still be famous, make pretty good money, and still be down to earth to where he knows what's going on. And yeah, Lex Luthor, double XL. You're like, this is the double XL Lex Luthor here.
You know, we live in a country where almost everything that should make us mad doesn't, and everything that should make us mad does. Like, if you want to build schools or homeless shelters, no, the public gets angry about that. But if you want to use your money to build concentration camps, that's fine. If you want to use your money to let people pay off student loans or to hire more teachers, that's anger and rancor. But if you want to use taxpayer dollars to hire more ICE agents and pay off their student loans, that's fine. If you want to use taxpayer dollars to feed people, no. But if you want to use taxpayer dollars to starve people, that's fine. It's interesting, man. It's funny because if you want to do something for the people, that's socialism.
Woo.
But if you want to do something to the people, that's patriotism.
Hey, facts, bars. That is bars right there. If you want to do something for the American people, right? Oh, no, the boogeyman, the S word. Oh, it's socialism. Oh, no, we can't do that, right? No, stay away from that. But if you want to do something to the people, hey, ooh, that's patriotism. That is America at its core. At the very core of America, that is how it operates. Oh man, take away the fancy, Statue of Liberty, the fancy slogans and stuff. We want to take all the weary, all the poor. Nah, hey, put all that away. At the very core, this is literally America. Hey, it's the greatest country, huh?
Seems like to me we got our isms all twisted up.
Hey, he ain't lying. All right, let's get into the video here. All right, let's rewind. All right, let's go right here.
Yeah, I'll let you respond. I mean, the question I would have for you is, I think what's happened on the southern border is borderline, pun intended, miraculous. To go from millions of people in the Biden 4 years coming over every year illegally on the border to basically just a few thousand now, almost eliminating it completely, is a huge success for the Trump administration in a very short period of time. Big tick. I think. All
right, and before once again, that is not a policy. Just shutting your doors and saying nobody could come in except for a few white people from Africa, that's a whole nother conversation. But just shutting your doors is not a policy. It's not a solution. Unfortunately, I'm sorry. So when are they going to actually create policy to fix the problem? I don't even think they know what the problem is. So once again, Pierce hey, man, be quiet because you don't know what you're talking about. That is not a solution.
Most Americans I've talked to are unanimous that they have no problem with undocumented people in the United States being deported if they commit a crime. Okay, so we can all agree on those things. But where I have a big problem with the further strategy of ICE, this just seems something so un-American about ICE going into places like Home Depot and grabbing people who may have been in the country for 10 years, who may have been contributing their taxes through gainful employment, contributing to society, maybe have kids that have been born in the United States. Grabbing those people and throwing them out of the country seems to be quite un-American to me for the reasons Tim articulated. And most of the polling I've seen suggests that at least 2/3, maybe more, of Americans agree that they think that's a step too far. How do you feel about that? I mean, are you comfortable with Home Depot being raided by ICE and people like that who've not committed crimes other than being in the country undocumented, being deported?
Well, let me ask you this question, Piers. What if you did that as a citizen in Europe? If I went to Europe and I stayed there and I was there for 20 years and I was undocumented, what would happen to me? I've had a home in Spain for 25 years.
My response to that would be that
I follow the immigration laws in Spain.
I
get stopped. Yeah, I get stopped if I stay longer than 60 days in a 180-day period. All kinds of issues happen, and that happens in every single country. But let me get back to something real quick that Tim said.
So that right there, I love how he pivoted. Like, this guy is going to run for some sort of seat for sure, because the way he pivoted from that question was amazing. He said, hey, I'm not going to answer your question. I'm going to answer your question with a question that makes no sense to the question that you asked me. Last time I checked, America is not Europe. Okay, like, hey, I mean, hey, okay, yeah, America's not Europe. I had to make sure, I'm here, okay? No, that's not how that works. If Pierce asked you if they're supposed to be going after the hardened criminals, sure, go for it. But why isn't ICE doing that? That is the question. That is what Americans say is inhumane. But he continues to do that. But of course he can't just admit to that, because then he's going to lose his favor with people. And once again, does it look like he's wearing makeup? I'm sorry, like, that is distracting me right there. He put on white face makeup because look at his neck. I mean, unless he wore a mask, which, I mean, hey, and he got like sunburn on his neck, or he just threw on a bunch of white. Okay. Let's continue.
And I'll address that. The United States is the most immigrant-friendly, by far, country on this planet. We have over 50 million immigrants. Tim, just look at the numbers. More than the next 4 countries combined. We also let in 1 million people legally every single year. I don't think we really disagree that much. I'm sorry if you said something, I couldn't hear it.
I just think not anymore. That's not what we're doing now under Donald Trump. I'm glad you like the immigrants are welcomed here, but right now we're going to have negative net migration.
Well, you're predicting something that isn't quite there. I'm sorry. I don't know if I was talking over you. I apologize.
No, continue.
Oh yeah. So yeah. Will we have negative net migration? Well, it depends. If you're gonna, negative compared to last year under the Biden administration, our immigration system, and I think we can both agree on this, is broken, and Congress needs to write laws to fix it. We want immigrants here in the United States, but we don't want people to be here illegal, and we don't want people crossing the border completely unvetted. And that's the big issue that was going on for the last 4 years.
Dean, let me ask you, where do you draw the line?
That's not for me to make that policy. That's up to Director Lyons.
It's not for him to make the policy, right? But I mean, we live in America, right? So you can state your opinion, right? If it's something that Trump and this administration and ICE is doing something that you don't think should be happening, can't you just speak out about it? Oh, yeah, that's right. Because if you did, you gonna be kicked out of ICE. You're not gonna have a job. And if anything, Donald Trump is probably gonna call you a traitor, and you're probably gonna get ran out the country. So yeah, it's best to just say, I don't have an opinion about it. And that is what cowards is made out of. That's right there is the face. It's a weird looking makeup face of a coward. The only thing he's missing is a red nose. He already got the white face. He just needs a red nose with a little bit of red makeup. And he fits right in this administration. Oh, I mean, that's not for me to what are you talking about, bro? You done said every other controversial opinion out there, but when it comes to something of substance that this idiot asks you, oh, I don't got an opinion. Okay.
And Congress. I mean, these are things that Congress should be dealing with, and they should make those laws, and then our ICE agents will dutifully perform those duties. I mean, they'll take care of whatever the law.
Yeah, but you must have an opinion. You must have an opinion where that line should be drawn, because we all agree that the southern border being closed is a good thing. We all three of us agree that people who commit crimes when they're in the country undocumented, crimes that are not related to their immigration status, that they should be deported. So we've got broad agreement on those two big planks of the policy. The issue that Tim and I have is that we do not believe that just going into Home Depot and grabbing anyone who's undocumented.
And they're not just going to Home Depot. They are literally monitoring people's social media accounts using AI. They're literally camping out in front of courthouses. People checking in so they can continue to become a citizen. Like, they are doing a lot of shady things. Ripping off, doors off of cars, breaking windows, snatching people out. Like, it's more than just going to a Home Depot. Morgan, like, you got to be honest. Tell this clown what's going on and make him answer it. But of course, a clown's going to be a clown.
Is a particularly American thing to do, particularly if they've been in the country for a long period of time and built lives in America and are contributing to society and paying taxes and so on. So my question before I go back to Tim is simply, if you were helping them reframe the law, where would you draw the line in terms of who you would allow to stay and who you would deport?
Well, it sounds like you agree on policy but disagree on tactics. On tactics and the way they're doing it, the way they're rolling in. Usually...
No, I don't, because I don't agree with deporting everyone who's in the country undocumented. Do you?
Everyone who's in the country undocumented? Well, that is not my decision to make, but I know that if you're in any other country undocumented, my opinion is if you're here illegally,
what's your opinion, Dave?
I'm trying to give it to you. If you're here illegally, you should have gone through steps to legalize your status. And there's been countless opportunities to do that. There has been tons and tons of opportunities to do that. And you broke the law when you came here. It's the same as in any other country. You've got to find a way to legalize yourself or self-deport, or else ICE will come and they will deport you.
Okay, Timothy, your response to that?
Man,
and this is crazy. What he's saying, and it's I disagree with the tactics and the policy. The tactics have been again brutal. I think that Dean Cain wants to turn the country into something that looks more like an authoritarian country. We have negative people coming in, people going out. We have people in masks. Look, Dean was on Fox the other night, and Jesse Waters asked him, "Will you hop out of ICE vans and start apprehending guys?" And Dean said he'd be willing to do that. This is crazy. This is not a TV show. Like, this is real life. The idea that somebody who is not trained would join ICE and join these guys that are putting on masks and jumping out of U-Hauls at a Home Depot and nabbing people, it's a horrible policy. It is un-American.
And what more important is unconstitutional. This is supposed, and once again, I know I'm fighting myself when I keep trying to make a logical sense of this conversation or this situation, but they're supposed to be the party of law and order, right? Oh, you got to follow the law, like blah, blah, whatever the case is. But once again, they have a convicted felon as president. So, like, nothing makes sense. And he's okay with kidnapping people without due process and sending them to a country they have no business being in. So it's like, what is this other than hatred, racism, bigotry? Like, it's nothing else. I'm tired of talking to people and they're making excuses of, oh, immigration, numbers. But when the numbers don't support their argument, then what? Oh, I mean, blah, blah, stupid thing. Just say, hey, you're a hateful, racist person, and that's it. Be happy with yourself.
It is not how we should treat people. It does not show a respect for individual rights in a free country. And the policy itself of deporting these people deporting everybody that is here undocumented is a crazy policy. It would crush the economy. Donald Trump's even backtracking on this policy. His friends in the ag industry have called him and said, you can't deport our ag workers. And then on top of that, not only is the policy bad, and not only tactics un-American of these masked thugs jumping out and grabbing people, but ICE is screwing up over and over again. They don't need more agents. They certainly don't need more untrained actors as agents. Right here in Louisiana.
Hey, bars. Once again, take the jabs that you need. Bars. You see what I'm saying? Actors. He's trying to just sit here and capitalize off of hating people. He's an opportunist. He sees a situation where he can stay relevant, make a few dollars, and scratch that tickle he has of hating people. That's it. Once again, hey Tim, beautiful job, beautiful.
Just give you two. Madonna Kashanian. She's a 64-year-old Iranian grandmother. She came here as a student. She did everything that Dean said. She was trying to get asylum. The U.S. kept kicking the can on that. She kept going to appointments. She's gardening outside her home, and she gets picked up by ICE. She was in detention for a week. Jose Francisco Garcia Rodriguez, 73-year-old grandfather. He emigrated on a U.S. boat from Cuba and tried to get asylum. Had a paperwork mistake. Arrested by ICE, held for a week. George Redis in California, 25 years old, worked as a security guard, U.S. citizen. ICE grabbed him, held him for 3 days. And this, we can argue about this. This doesn't even get into the Venezuelans that we sent to CCOT, many of whom didn't come to the country illegally. They came legally. They sought asylum. They came across the border. And rather than sending them back to Venezuela, ICE and Kristi Noem sent them to a torture prison in a third country that they weren't even from.
But once again, Tim, he's making sense to the logical person. He makes sense. You can't debunk that. He's reading notes. He took the time to understand what he's talking about. But once again, they don't care. They are just going after brown people. If you look the part, they picking you up. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. That's all they care about. They're not trained to look into whoever they're trying to snag. They're not trying to pull up the information and make sure they got the right person. Make sure they're not a citizen. Make sure that they're not already going through the legal processes. No, too complicated. Once again, you're talking about Republicans. Dumb as a bag of bricks Republicans. Their policy is, you see brown person, you handcuff them. Simple. Brown person, handcuffs. Go. That's simple.
So, ICE does not need more untrained agents right now. ICE needs to learn how to follow the law and treat treat people who have not committed crimes with respect and with the rights earned.
Okay, but Tim, it remains the case. Hang on, Dean. I'll come to you. The thing I would say, Tim, to that, as I said in the intro, it remains a fact that the level of deportation so far in this Trump term are about half of what they were in the Obama and Biden administrations.
You alluded to it. That's because this is kind of one of these things that's, statistics, like lies, damn lies and statistics. Part of the reason for that was, as you said, the border was open. We can critique it, probably too open during the Biden-Obama administrations. When they're counting the deportations, that's people that come to the border, come across the border, get sent right back across. So it's easy to run the numbers up when you're doing that. The border right now is shut down, as you guys mentioned. So what they're now doing is going to get people from inside the interior of the country. That's much more challenging. And so they're spending all this money to get new ICE agents. People who are former actors apparently are going to come in and start helping with this. And the problem when you go into the interior of the country to start finding people is if you're just trying to get a quota, Stephen Miller set quota, you're going to end up nabbing people like George Redis, who is actually a citizen, or like Jimena Arias Cristobal, who was pulled over incorrectly, that they got the wrong car, and you're going to screw up. And
but it
so
sounds to me, okay, but Tim,
those rights.
okay, but it sounds to me,
you cannot just do a quota and send people to Alligator Alcatraz and send them away. Like it's more challenging. It's
okay,
a hard.
But it's not. Okay, but it sounds to me, and correct me if I'm wrong, that what critics would say of what you've just said is, okay, so what is the difference in principle between somebody who comes over the southern border illegally and somebody who's come over a different way, or perhaps earlier over the southern border, but remains in the country illegally, notwithstanding the fact they may have built a life for themselves? If you're happy for people to be rejected immediately if they come over illegally, why would you be unhappy about them being held to account for being there illegally in a year, 2 years, 3 years?
And before he answers, and once again, I don't know what his answer is going to be, but my answer is, one, our government, America, has not taken the time and the money and the ideas to fix the problem. And there's people, with the help of America, which is a whole nother conversation, people are trying to seek a better, safer life. Things is really hard out there. I know for a lot of Americans that's really hard to understand, but things ain't just all sunshines and rainbows out there. They are fleeing for their life, for their family's life. So when they try to come to America the proper way, and they see for themselves that the system is broken, they got to wait 10, 15, 20 years. Unfortunately, just like myself, I'm not going to wait no 20 years if my life is on the line. Not going to do that. Don't think so. If I could pay a couple of $1,000s to get snuck in, I'm going to do it. Don't play yourself. Don't lie. You ain't got to lie to kick it. I am going to get to America one way or another. And that's what's happening. So once again, you can't blame them because your system is broken and you continue to not fix it. You see what I'm saying? That's simple. And once again, if they are making a life for themselves here, contributing to their community, contributing to the bigger economy, and they have committed no crimes, make them a citizen. Oh my God, man, that's just so crazy. Oh, I mean, but we gotta make them a citizen. Jesus Christ. It costs less. It costs less than spending $75 billion for ICE. And it's not and you don't create a hostile environment for people. Oh my God, man. But once again, they don't care about that. They just care about getting Mexican people out. That's simple.
To have rules and controlling the country, right? I get it. And so we are where we are. But I would just point out, Piers, that a lot of the people who are being deported, again, didn't come over illegally. We're not talking about people across the Rio Grande. We're talking about either children, DACA kids that got brought here by their parents. We're talking about people that overstayed visas. Donald Trump and J.D. Vance have made a bunch of people illegal that weren't, because they came through asylum. Either Joe Biden or George Bush or Obama or even Trump actually himself in the first term gave people from a lot of countries, Venezuela, Cuba, etc., asylum, temporary protected status. Haiti, this was a big thing during the campaign. And so now they've taken away their status and they're like, self-deport or we'll deport you. So these people didn't come illegally. Like, they came through a legal process, and now we've got ICE agents and apparently former Superman actors are going to jump out of vans and nab them and hold them in deportation cells. That's insane. Like that.
Hey, next we need is Batman and the Green Lantern. You see what I'm saying? Like, and it's a reason why I don't like Superman, even though the last Superman movie that was, last month was pretty good. That's the reason why I don't like DC. You see what I'm saying? Because of people like this here. But that's a whole nother conversation. But he makes a good point. If the whole policy or their excuse, in my opinion, is we're only going after undocumented, we're only going after the criminals, then the data says otherwise. That you're taking people who are going through the process. You have people literally sitting there camping out courtrooms. You guys are suing and going after and threatening immigration lawyers. What are you just shut up. If you really want some respect, just say, hey, I'm a hateful person and I just want to hate on black and brown people. Hey, conversation done. Okay, good job, bro. That's it. But don't sit here and try to wear white makeup and sit here and lie in my face like that. That's disrespectful.
That's not how you act in a free country. So, no, I do think in a lot of these cases it is different. Like a lot of these situations are complicated.
All right.
And they've tried to come legally.
They are. There is no doubt it is complicated. Dean, over to you.
Tim, I don't understand why you have to go, a former untrained actor. I'm not untrained. I've been a sheriff's deputy for almost 10 years. I've been a sworn sheriff's deputy and a reserve police officer. So I don't know why you're saying untrained. And by the way, when you join ICE, they train you. So to say that and try to denigrate because I'm an actor, I shouldn't be able to be concerned about what's going on with our borders or with our law enforcement agencies is denigrating. It's ridiculous. Should I say because you're a former Republican strategist, you have no say on anything? That's baloney. So first of all, discounting that, making a cheap joke, just like John Oliver.
He's mad. He's mad and he knows it. First off, he should be mad at whoever did his makeup. I'm sorry. I'm going to try to leave that alone, but it's distracting seeing his face like that. Okay. You can see even rubbing off his chin. It's weird. Like, look at a mirror for peace sake. But first off, if they are putting out Instagram posts and Facebook posts and Twitter posts saying, hey, we just want people to come in. There's no age cap. You ain't training nobody. And you know how we know this? Because you guys are stampling. You guys are running over. You run over, then go into reverse and run over again people's constitutional rights. So what kind of training are they doing if you're doing that? You're going into people's houses without warrants or establishing who you are and why you're detaining them. You're not doing that. So what kind of training are you doing? Man, put me on a panel. Get me out there, coach. If you want me to defeat Superman, I do it. I got that kryptonite, man. He ain't ready. This white-faced clown-looking guy ain't ready. Jeez.
Bill Maher, anybody else? Let me finish my sentence. Let me finish my sentence, please. Let me finish my sentence, please. Denigrating somebody because they're doing this because of what they used to do or what they do, or whether they're an actor or a writer or a newscaster is ridiculous. It's an ad hominem attack. It's wrong. And there's been over 100,000 people who have put in applications for ICE. So clearly there is a desire for people to step up and serve this country.
Dean.
Yeah, they want to serve this country by just grabbing random brown folks and sending them out of the country. If they're so eager to serve this country, get them out to fight in these wars that Trump wants to just continue and prolong. Get them out there and fight. Oh no, that's too hard though. That's too hard because you can be an overweight, clown face looking, and just hump brown people. That's all you doing, bro. That is, come on. But I guess that's American.
If you you said on Fox that you'd be that you would, if they sent you in, you'd be happy to jump out of a truck and go apprehend people. So if you show up at the door of someone's home as an ICE agent, which you're an ICE agent now, do you know what rights they have?
I'm not an ICE agent yet.
Oh, okay. So yeah, so you are an untrained former actor. You are an untrained
I am a former actor. I'm a former professional football player too. So when I run down my resume, I mean, so it's stupid.
I'm just telling a fact.
Yeah,
You're
but
an
I mean,
untrained
you
officer.
denigrate
You showed
it as
up on
though it's
TV.
something negative. You denigrate it like it's something negative. Like you know what
Here's
you're
why it's
saying. So
negative.
quit trying to gloss over it. It's ridiculous. It was
I'm telling you why
snarky and it
it's
was
negative.
stupid.
I'm telling you why
It's
it's
snarky
negative
and
because you
it's
don't know
stupid.
the job. You don't know the job. That's why it's negative. It's nothing
You don't know
against
that I don't
actors.
know the job. You're just assuming. You didn't.
I just
Did you know I
asked
was a
you.
law enforcement officer?
I just asked you, do you know what migrants' rights are? If you show up to someone's house as an ICE agent, do you know what rights they have? Do you
They
know?
have all the due process rights of anybody in this country.
Okay. So do you need a warrant signed by a judge to
Uh-oh.
apprehend somebody?
This is ridiculous. I'm not a sworn ICE agent yet.
Oh, there we go. Oh, I mean, I'm not certified yet, but I'm just out there on the field just trying to look cute for the cameras. Bro, get out of here. Once again, you can't argue against that. You already know that these ICE agents, especially under Trump, are stampeding over people's constitutional rights, and you want to partake in that. He could have easily squashed this conversation and said, that is not what we're supposed to be doing. When I get out there on the field, I'm going to do these people proper. I'm not going to trample over their constitutional rights, and I'm going to treat them like human beings. And if they broken the law, I'm going to be. He could have squashed that whole conversation that easily. But no, he can't say that because he doesn't want to do that. Superman.
It's
Well, you
a
were saying
stupid
you were
argument.
happy to jump out of vans and start apprehending people. You were bragging about that.
I
the
will.
other
I
day.
didn't, and then you made it. Of course,
Not ready.
and I would if that's what the director asked me to do.
I'm going to say,
stupid argument.
hang on. I've got to say, of all the arguments to use against Dean Cain, I do find the kind of constant sneering that he was Superman and an actor. I do think that's irrelevant, actually. He's perfectly entitled as an American citizen to train up to be an ICE agent should he want to. And as he's made repeatedly clear, Tim, he'll only start being an ICE agent when he's completed that training. So I don't think the fact he's been an actor or a footballer or Superman or anything else makes any difference. The fact he's been, as he said, a sheriff and other things in terms of law enforcement actually makes him more qualified than most citizens to train to be an ICE agent. And if he wants to be...
No, definitely not. Because you know why? Because our own police officers here in America are not trained to be proper police officers. And trust me, I done seen plenty of these police trainings and how they target and dehumanize people. So trust me, they are not even trained properly. More than half of them don't even know their own American rights. So that's not even a good part of, he's more highly trained than the average. No, he is not. He couldn't even tell you if you need a warrant or not. You need to be trained by that. Or you need to be trained to know that, but you were a sheriff or whatever. Come on. That. If anything, that should be a negative. That is a con that he used to be a sheriff. Man.
Then what's the problem? Why should we use his background as a stick to beat him with?
I can answer that, Piers. Are you not concerned that ICE has decided that they're just going to go on this recruitment campaign and start leveling up the amount of agents that are going to be masked? Going into Hispanic communities?
Well, no, I think.
All that just
on the
shows, is that not
masking. Well, hang on.
We want trained people. We want trained
on the mask.
This is very hard. This is hard work, and we got to respect people's rights. And ICE is not doing that.
But nobody
and just leveling up really quick,
all right, but
hiring
two
a bunch
things.
of people is not great. It's not going to help. That's a real concern. That's a legit concern that people who are not trained are going to be doing these jobs.
Sure. Two things. Two things I would say by way of response. One, I've not seen any evidence that people are going to be poorly trained to be ICE agents. They'll be recruited as they always have been and trained.
What?
Well, but you're talking about trained ICE agents.
Oh my God, Piers, please just be quiet. You are the stupidest person always on this panel, and that's saying a lot by Superman fused with a clown. That's saying a lot. You're still the stupid person on the panel. If you want to see how the training is going to be for future ICE agents, look at the current ICE agents we have now. It's not complicated. Bro, man, Pierce is a dummy. Oh my God. Just when I thought he couldn't get any more stupid, he surprises me. I mean, you don't think that... Man, shut up, bro.
They keep grabbing people.
I don't think wearing masks... I don't think the... Yeah, but my second point was we all know why they're wearing masks. It's because they're being doxxed left, right, and centre on social media and having their lives threatened.
No,
of course they are.
No. This is bullshit. For starters, we have evidence ICE agents aren't being trained. But it is. Really quick. Let's go back to George Redis. He arrived at work. He was a U.S. citizen. ICE agents surrounded his car. He identified himself as a U.S. citizen. They broke his window, pepper sprayed him, and dragged him out. He was in detention for 3 days. So we do have evidence that they're not being trained to respect people's rights. And on the masks, this is crazy. Do you know how many judges have been threatened? You know, if you're a judge and you have there's a case that is happening, you're a prosecutor, and you're targeting a murder suspect. These guys have been threatened. There have been judges whose families have been threatened. Their lives have been threatened. There are a lot of people in public life who have been threatened. You still don't get to wear a mask and be a secret judge. Not in a free country. You don't. I'm sure you...
Hey, bars. Straight bars. And once again, guys, if you guys want to watch this entire thing, go on Pierce's channel and watch it. But unfortunately, we're not going to watch the whole thing because we will be here for hours. But, I mean, every point that they make is subpar and it's easy to dismantle. Once again, it's a reason why police officers don't wear masks. So what makes ICE agents so special? Oh, I get it, because their job is to sit here and target brown people, not caring about their rights, not caring about if they're citizens, not caring about if they're trying to go through the legal process, not caring about if they have some sort of criminal record or not. You're just brown. So what that means is if you're brown, they just don't want you around. That's simple. So of course, if you're going to be a hateful, bigoted person, you want to hide your identity because you have no laws to keep you accountable. That is the problem. That's why they wear masks. Simple. I mean, man, let's just stop making excuses. Oh man.
See how you do under pressure. Yeah, I've been wanting this shit forever. I've been in the field with whatever they throw at me. Brush it off, pick myself up, moving on to the better. Hey. Ain't no errors, baby, it's a new era. I wake up early feeling rich like I'm Kesha. I get to the paper, boy. Extra, extra.